At Homefront Build, we have always tried to do our work sustainably. And Carbonshack grew out of that idea. So at Carbonshack, we not only want to use just recycled material or salvage material, and not just how the systems work, but put it all together and make sure we have a lower carbon footprint.
So it's exciting because we're moving out of the construction phase into the finish phase. So we've done the waterproofing of the bathroom, finishing stuck on the outside. We're about to start putting the plaster on the inside, flooring, tile, countertops, cabinetry, drapery, furniture.
The theme that we're looking at is of microbes. You know, people are usually just like afraid of the idea that there are germs all over their household surfaces, like in kitchens and in bathrooms. And in fact, they are covered in colonies of bacteria and fungus and who knows what else. And so I thought it would be fun to have those microbes that we live with that are invisible being made larger and visible in the kitchen countertops and then the bathroom floors.
What happens when a builder and an artist-scientist set out to change the way we make houses by gathering together a collaborative group of artisans to build themselves a low carbon footprint home? Carbonshack.
95% of the framing lumber we used was salvage lumber. When we began the project, it was wood and structure and energy systems. Like, how can we look at saving carbon? How can we look at being green? How can we reduce our footprint? But then in exploring all that, it really just led to deeper understanding and a connectivity to our houses and how our houses are these natural living objects. And we wanted to express that aliveness and that connectivity to the environment through the finishes.
As a person interested in biology, it presents really interesting issues. How could we visualize ecological systems in the design of the house? You took the bacteria with the little cilia and the flagell.
Right. The idea is that at least, it looks like the decorative pattern, but as you get closer, you realize there are like bacteria and
Swarming
microbes.
and Salmonella, E. coli. I'm really excited to work on this tile design project with my friend Clemente.
This is for the kitchen counters or the bathrooms. Many traditional tiles, they use this very special kind of blue that was used throughout the history of Talavera tiles.
We're thinking about the kitchen and the bathroom as these places where our bacterial designs could go. And we're drawing from Ernst Haeckel, the 19th century biologist who made this beautiful book called Art, Forms, and Nature, where he just did a kind of encyclopedia of microbes.
The drawings are beautiful, and they were done right when the technology had just been developed to be able to see these organisms.
They have these like radial symmetry, animals that live in the ponds, and incredibly fantastic forms with beautiful colors, and they're just waiting to be tiles. They're so Baroque and complex and beautiful. With Clemente's hand in his particular style, I think there's this humor that comes out with them, so the bacteria are kind of maybe more like creatures.
We're trying to make salmonella look cute and cuddly. They really look beautiful. They're completely unrecognizable. They become kind of abstract shapes.
My grandfather's from Iran, and I grew up with Persian rugs. I think I probably stared at the patterns in those rugs for maybe months of my life. So I'm really attracted to color and form. So to combine a kind of conceptual interest in ecology with the richness of the tradition of tile is just really fun. Traditional tiles are inspired by art forms in nature to begin with, like branches and leaves and flowers are always motifs in tile. But from a contemporary point of view, from a biological point of view, we could think about these organic shapes as a part of the ecosystem. We wanted to take up some ecological themes
Oh yeah, let me look
in
it
the
up.
tiles,
Oh, those are cool.
like
Yeah.
funguses, things that grow in your house and in the environment which are invisible.
I like that.
Another idea is we're doing pictures of bacteria, salmonella, and other.
That's so wrong. I've never had anybody want to do bacteria.
That's good.
Well, that's
It's disturbing.
These are never recognizable. We never see microscopic creatures this large. So in the
Well, we have mildew in our bathrooms.
Yeah.
So you can't see it.
yeah.
This is an interesting pattern.
Yeah.
It's a fungus.
After we develop the glazes and the line, I'm usually the guy that does all that work.
Yeah.
Especially with custom made-to-order product.
Can you deal with a gradient?
I can create 2 different color blues, and in the center area, use the darker blue. So what I'll do is print out the artwork and make a silk screen.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, it'll be silk screened and then painted.
Okay. When you're doing a home, you're always going to have new finishes. So what's the carbon cost of these new finishes? So we're looking at tile and seeing where you get tile from in a showroom
From
like this.
everywhere. So we have the tile that we make ourselves, which we make right here in California,
Right.
next door. And then we also have stuff from Morocco, which takes a little distance to get here. English tile right here, Mexican tile. We have Turkish tile that we're standing on. This one's from Italy, Vietnam, Tunisia, Brazil, England, Abu Dhabi. Yeah, from all over the world, and a lot of local artisans.
That's interesting colors. This is the orange. I've had an interest in California and Malibu pottery for a long time. I was very excited at the opportunity to be able to do test runs on them in this very short period to be able to see how they look. This is a pattern based on slime mold. The format of this tile is based on a more traditional notion of having something, an element in the center, and then coordinating elements in the 4 corners so that when the tiles are combined, it creates a secondary pattern. We are using the tiles kind of as a starting point and then building the rest of the project in many ways from them. So the fabrics are coordinating with the tiles.
We thought at first, oh, let's make it kind of go with the tile. And just communicating that with Greg, we both realized how many details there are. Like, how big is the outline? What color? And there's so many components that possibilities are just endless, really. This is a unique project in that we're mixing different hand processes and layering them. The imperial embroideries of China really just tripped me out. The intricate stitching they did. I didn't really see anything quite like that in home products, so I started there.
Wonderful to see all these experiments and how it evolves, and it's so hard to make the choice about which final ones we're going to use because all the variations are just so yummy.
The fabric is really beautiful. It's coarse, shiny. There's
So
a
thick.
sheen in it.
It's really fascinating to take a moment and consider what goes into producing these fabrics and how that actually impacts the world that we live in.
The biggest issue with fabric is the fact that you have to replace it every 10 to 15 years. If people are conscious about what the footprint of certain fabrics are, they might try to stretch the life of a fabric out to be longer or try to consume more responsible fabrics.
We went to all of the commercial fabric houses at the Pacific Design Center and around town, asking what they have in the realm of eco-friendly and low carbon footprint fabrics.
Fabrics like polyester are fossil fuel derivatives. They come from plastic. And things like leather come from cattle, which have a high carbon cost.
What I would want to know is, because there seem to be so many of them that the companies are listing as green or eco-friendly, what their qualifications are for putting them in those designations. Because, you know, if it's by energy use, then that doesn't seem right. If it's by water use, then maybe.
Cotton has a pretty low carbon footprint, but the biggest problem with it is the water consumption.
I mean, cotton's is huge
Yeah,
compared to these
for
like
water
hemp or
use.
polyester.
Yeah.
Both of these show hemp as being pretty low water usage and carbon footprint, which is great.
So hemp was really the winner that was able to both have a low carbon cost and also a low water footprint.
They have a huge variety of 100% hemp fabrics that are for upholstery or for denim or t-shirt or terry cloth.
I was thinking a macro of like one of the tile things. That would be more like, you know, a pop of some
That'd be
of
really
a
great.
like, whoa,
Yeah.
a giant micro.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like triple the size of your drawing.
Jennifer was a client of mine. When we started the process, we really didn't have any idea we were going to end up working with all these different artisans.
Everyone loves this fabric. It's just a mold spore.
It's a real kind of give and take between your concept and how do you make things.
I kind of like seeing that watery quality of the paint, the painterliness of the paint.
You know, with the tiles, I think that first they kind of look like traditional mission-style Spanish tile work, and then maybe you take a second look and ask, like, what is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something just subtly different about them. Well, I definitely wanted the bacteria to be coming out of the toilet
Yeah.
onto the walls.
Oh, we'll get that.
And the
Okay. Well, then I think what
and
we
the
should do is
bathtub and the
we should look-
sink. It's so funny to just have bacteria already in your tile, so you don't really have to worry about if the bacterial colonies grow and the mildew and whatever, because it's already there. That makes me feel very relaxed.
Looks like ants crawling up on the wall. I'm not sure about that one.
We custom printed our Clemente fungus design, and then they're embroidered as well.
Is what it is? Funguses?
Yeah, fungus spores.
Oh, okay, spores.
We have tiles in the same pattern.
Oh, really?
They laid out the floor.
Oh my God, that's fantastic. It looks like water. It kind of has ripples. So much fancier than I imagined.
Oh, really?
So tiles are really hard. You can't really reclaim tiles. They'll crack. So you have to use new tiles. We tried to use a company that was local, that has California emission standards that it abides to. And then also these tiles use about 15 to 20% recycled material.
This clay comes from a clay mine in California. It's manufactured in California, and then we're transporting it to the finished market within California. So in that case, it's a very efficient or green finished material.
Conventionally, if we were using cottons and wools and leathers and things like that for the upholstery and other textiles in the house, it would be close to a ton of CO2 emissions.
By choosing to use hemp, we were able to reduce our carbon costs associated with fabrics by 85%.
That's equivalent to not driving on the road for 1,700 miles.
So much of what we're looking at the Carbonshack project is the carbon and the chemistry and the invisible relationships we have to the environment.
We're living symbiotically with bacteria, and fungal spores and slime mold. Every day of our lives, we carry 2 or 3 pounds of non-human things in our bodies. We're kind of ecosystems ourselves.
We're in the process of interior finishes.
We started out thinking about the ecosystem and ways that would bring design ideas to the house.
Our custom decorative light fixtures are all based on organic forms.
There's a lot less waste and fumes involved in the manufacturing process.
It's been really amazing to learn about all the materials and how to fabricate from the ground up.